I am. Yeah, I'm just getting the gameplay thing. I loaded it back up. Uh-oh. There may be trouble ahead. I'm going straight into the Disorana this time. No crappy cider.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bits and Pieces podcast, episode 17. As always, I should say I am joined by the Freedy Show, as
Hello.
always. It's what I meant to say. But unfortunately, we're not joined by Beth this week. She unable to make it. And we are starting a little bit late. We're a little bit behind schedule this week, but that's technical
My
issues and
bad.
stuff like that.
My bad.
So,
No, my
but yeah,
fault.
we
Blame me.
are.
It's my fault.
But not a problem because we will continue on regardless. We're still we're still gonna make this happen. Episode 17.
17. Yeah.
17 is. I know it's getting there. I mean, it's technically 19 weeks since we started. Because we took a 2-week break for the Christmas period, but we are 17 episodes in. And as always, we'll be doing some spotlights. I've got a spotlight. Freedy has a spotlight. We'll pick up some news. Unfortunately, we don't get a joke of the week then. Oh, no, Beth. So, yeah, no joke of the week, unfortunately. I'm sure you're all disappointed by that. And I know I'll pass that on to her when, hopefully, Beth, hopefully you are... you're out there, you're listening.
Hopefully.
So yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully someone's listening.
Hopefully someone's listening. Whether you are listening in the car, on the way to work, on the train, or just going to the gym, you can find us. Like, if you haven't already, you can find us either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify podcast sections, and anywhere that does RSS feeds throughout. Amazon also has their own music station as well, so you can find us on that. Audible, we're SoundCloud, we're pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. So yeah, that's where you'll find us. The Funny Bits Boy channel is what that is under. If you wanted to find us and you're watching, I've said find us so many times in that sort of sentence. I just realised.
So, drink every time Steve says find us, and that's how drunk you
are. So yeah, let's get this thing going then, shall we? So you're gonna do Elden Rings because that just came up.
I am. Yeah.
And
Elden Ring.
Ring. Right. Did you want to jump on that one first? I can go first if you want. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go first.
So Elden Rings.
Yes, Elden Ring is the latest From Software game. It just came out recently on all major platforms except the Switch, and it has been a mixed reaction to a few gamers have had a few issues on launch day, but I'll get into that a bit later on. The game is the typical Souls experience. This time, for those that don't know what the Elden Ring is, it is an open world Dark Souls game. That is pretty much it. The combat is literally identical to Dark Souls 3. There's a few different caveats and different things that each class does. There's a new spell mechanic that's been added. There's some new nuances with weapons and upgrading, and it's basically been pretty revamped and rebuilt for open world gaming. and it is a blast to play. I played it for about an hour and a half earlier. I killed my first boss. I killed the Rat Man in the cave first try. I wish I recorded it. So I was so jammy how I killed him. I had no flask left. I had a tiny bit of HP, and I dodged everything he threw at me, and countered him, and killed him. I was so chuffed. Um, the game is like a typical hard game, but it's basically skill based. If you're no good at dodging, parrying, or blocking, you're going to fail. You're going to fail miserably. It is a game that you can learn. It has a very steep learning curve, so it is basically a time investment. So for those that want to get good, as they always say, the Souls like, go get good, mate. Go get good, scrub. If you get good, you got to put the hours in. It's not one of these games you can just pick up and play. Because if you pick up and play it, you're going to end up eating your controller within the first half an hour, right? So it's not something you can just easily walk into as a casual gamer. But it is something that I would recommend people pick up at like difficult, but not exceptionally hard. Some bosses are obviously really hard, especially towards the end game, and some encounters are literally optional. And these optional encounters are the ones that literally make you bury your face into the wall. But yeah, it is a very very hard game. But if patience is a virtue, this game personifies it in every way, and it is a risk and reward system. It's very very addictive. I find myself just running around the open world, just amazed at its visuals, the wildlife, the landscape and the sky, how it all looks and fits together, while slaughtering hundreds and hundreds of rabbits just because I hate rabbits. That's personal opinion. I have a story behind that. Anyway, back to the game. It's very very good. It has multiplayer as well. It has proper co-op this time. If you played the previous From Software games, you will know that co-op was limited in its execution. You only had certain sections and certain bosses you could summon your compatriots and weapon brothers and sisters in arms, certain bosses, and then once you killed them, poof, they disappeared, and they never help you again. This situation is a bit different. You can spawn in the open world, and you can follow each other around until you kill the major boss of the area, and then the second player disappears. But the second player only disappears after the major boss has been killed. So, and also for those that don't like playing co-op and want a bit of help, there is a new summon mechanic in the game where you find these spirit tomes of various monsters types. So you can summon ogres, wolves, generals, priests, two-headed dragons. There's loads of stuff you can summon that helps you out as single player for difficult encounters, and there's NPC summons as well that you can find that also help you for difficult boss encounters. These are a godsend for someone like me who absolutely sucks at dodging. So it's very very good for new players new to the series. I would say this is a lot fairer on new players to the series than it is in previous iterations. As I've played all the other From Software games, never completed any of them, but I've played them all. So I would say Elden Ring is a lot easier to get into. It's one of those easy to pick up and then difficult to master tropes that a lot of these games have that copied Dark Souls S games over the years since its inception. Um, but the game on the PS5, I've had no issues. Like the game's runs flawlessly, loads up quick, gameplay smooth as butter, looks amazing. Not had any problems, but of course it's made for console, so you wouldn't expect a console release to have problems. So this brings me neatly onto the PC version, and the PC version is a mess. They have patched it. Day one patch did come out. They fixed a lot of stuttering, loads of frame rate issues, frame drops, loads of performance issues. Just basically cards just dropping out for no reason. Anything below a 2080 has struggled on it. So the performance patch has fixed it to some degree, but there's still stuttering issues and FPS issues littered throughout the PC experience. Also, gamepads and game controllers have not worked or not responded to the Steam configuration. It hasn't loaded in properly. It doesn't work. The rebinds don't work. There's a lot of people have had a lot of issues with that and have refunded the game because of it. And most of the reviews on Steam are mixed and some negative, a lot of negative reviews because of that technical problem with the game itself. So they haven't rated the game on the game itself. It's more like they can't get into the game, can't play the game. Like me and myself have Lost Ark. can't play the game, can't get into the game. It might be an amazing game. If you can't play it, then it's still a failed launch, isn't it? If you can't log into the game, the majority of people can't play it. It's a failed botched launch. But that's on PC. And as always, as PC gamers, as we always have to take this on the chin, PC gamers always have to get the botched ports, don't we? We always have to suffer the botched ports, unless you're lucky enough to have all the consoles. Not that I'm trying to blow my own trumpet. I'm not. I'm not. But yeah, so that Elden Ring, fantastic game. It's quite cheap. It's £40 on the PS4. Now, I'll give you a little tip here. Those that have a PS5 and a PS4, if you buy the PS4 physical copy, you get it cheaper and you get a free PS5 upgrade. So I would recommend buying the PS4 version if you have a disc PS5, and you get it cheaper and you get the free PS5 upgrade. Otherwise, you're paying like, an extra 20 quid for the privilege of the same game, literally the same game, with only a minor upscaling because they're both 4K at the end of the day. The only thing you're going to get with the PS5 is obviously 120 frames per second, which is obviously quite substantial, but still. But that's it for Elden Ring. I'm not going to go too much into the whole game and the mechanics and stuff because you need if you're a From Software fan, you're likely going to already own this game. I mean, it's already peaked on Steam for coherent players. It's peaked on Twitch for coherent players and watchers. And that's that's the wrap for Elden Ring. If you like open world Dark Souls games and you like risk and reward experiences that are hard but sometimes fair and sometimes not so fair with co-op, then you can't go wrong with the fantasy-driven Elden Ring. That's mic drop. There you go.
I looked at this. I do like the aesthetics of it. I like how it looks. I just committed to so many games at the moment. I'm not sure that I would get this straight away. As you said, it is a Souls-like, so you got to expect that kind of level of difficulty added in. And if you're not familiar, like you said, if you're not really comfortable with that, then you're gonna struggle. And I can imagine, like with so many games that I've got at the moment, I don't want to be rushing through anything if it demands my attention more. So
yeah. It's not a game you can play casually.
Yes, exactly. So that is something. So that's kind of my excuse for not getting it, if you like. But
wait for a sale.
I'll wait for a sale. But I will. I do like it. I do like. I mean, it's just all you turn Twitch on at the moment, and that is all you see. Every channel I follow is playing this game. It's like, how are they getting the amount of views that they're getting? Like everyone has their own community, obviously, but it's such a massive game at the moment that I do feel like it's going to be very difficult as a small streamer that you're going to end up just losing out to anyone coming in. But I will get, like I said, I'll get it, but it's going to take me a while to get there eventually. I will get it eventually, but just
hopefully
have to wait a little.
Hopefully it has crossplay in the future. I don't think it's got crossplay at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I
don't understand why games in 2022 aren't launching with crossplay. It's annoying me so much. Like it's literally on every platform.
Yeah.
So if it's on every platform, it makes sense to have crossplay. So it's when they pigeonhole communities and friends because not everybody has everything. Not everybody owns the whole plethora of PCs, consoles, and the like. So we have one or the other.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's annoying when you can't play with your friends. We're in the same situation. Where you've got people across our community that play on different platforms. We play the same game, but it's like you can't play together because companies say no. So it is annoying in that regard. But apart from that gets patched. It's Game of the Year material. I know I said this a while back. Can't have Game of the Year at the start of the year. But this could be very well Game of the Year material. I've really enjoyed it so far. The story is interesting. So,
I mean, I know we've briefly touched on it last podcast, and then you wasn't in for this last week. But yeah, we briefly touched on the idea that February seems to be the largest month, and it's the second month of the year. It's like we're just coming towards the end of the month, like as we're currently recording this or broadcasting at the moment, it is the 26th of February, and already you've got so many different games out there. I mean, Lost Ark came out recently. That's got its own problems. We won't go into too much. We've already covered that quite extensively already.
No.
But the point is this is a £50, I think.
Yeah.
£50 game.
Yeah.
So whereas Lost Ark was a free to play, this is a £50 game. If you're going to commit to it, then I would. Yeah, there's something that I can't do right now. And there's just been so many games that have come out so far before the end of the month. There's still going to be a few more to be releases. Whether they're going to be held up to be able to hold up to Elden Rings. I mean, because even if you've got like the PlayStation at the moment, you've got the new Horizon game come out.
Yeah, Forbidden West.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago they came out.
Exactly. So do you know what I mean? That's a big game. That was streamed.
Massive game.
Massive,
100 hours.
Huge game.
I
did actually.
Elden Ring.
I played the first one. I remember the first one quite well. Zero Dawn, I think it was called. Yes, but obviously we're not talking about that. But it's just compared to like what came out. And I think
lots
that was
of big releases.
Was that 60, 65, 60?
70 quid, 60 quid, 60
yeah, something like that and it was a PlayStation exclusive, right? I think you can get the first one on.
Came out as well.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There's been so many come out this month, in the second month in, and then and I'm pretty much potless.
Warhammer 3.
And so if there's a game that you like, sorry, I was talking over you.
Sorry, I was just saying Warhammer 3 released as well this week.
Yeah, of course. That was
Warhammer
another
3,
one I was just trying to remember.
RTS fans everywhere.
It's just
it's
crazy.
It's broke February. No one has enough money to buy all these games. I mean, the only reason I got Elden Ring is because I pre-ordered it in December. So
yeah,
I spent my Christmas money on it. I took a risk. I'm not going to go into it. I've already said you shouldn't pre-order stuff because you always set up yourself. I'm English, so I crave disappointment. So so we always say not to pre-order really and wait for reviews. I say that a lot, but I went against my better judgment, and I'm glad I did because at least, like I said, console version wise, it's a good game.
And a good bit of consumer advice there: get the PS4 version.
Yeah, get the PS4 version, cheaper value, and you get the free PS5 upgrade when you get a PS5 or if you have a PS5. But you have to have the disc version. If you have the digital PS5, it's a no, you won't get the benefit of that. You'll have the disc and you'll be like, I can't install it. It doesn't work. I'm hitting it. I'm not doing nothing.
Good stuff. Anyway, should we jump on to the next one?
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Right. So my spotlight of the week is of this episode. Let me bring this up so that people can see it.
Yeah.
Right. It's basically it's a potion craft. I've got my notes here. So you are an alchemist in ye old town of somewhere around the world. It's quite a fun little game. It's a casual little game. I don't know what it's like as a viewer, but I found it just like one of those relaxing games that I could just come home, put it on, and just chill out. Basically you are the town's alchemist. You have to craft potions. Obviously, that's the name of the game, quite literally. Potion craft. It is from Tiny Builds and Nice Play Games. So yeah, you get to experience experiment with physically handling the ingredients. You've got a pestle and mortar. You've got the big pot on a fire with your bellows to help get the potion all mixed up and all nice and all good. But there's a little bit of a story. You are obviously got a shop. You'll get customers come in, and then someone will say, "I bumped my head because I fell off a ladder," and you go, "Well, you're an idiot." But it's but then you're asked to make a potion, and then to do the potion, you need to go around. I think we just see it briefly in the map, but for those who are just listening, there is a map that you have to try and find the right pathway to get to the potion that you need to craft. So it could be top left, bottom right, whatever it is on the map, you need to get to that pathway by adding ingredients to the pestle or mortar, crushing it down, and then adding that into the pot. The pot will, those ingredients will give you a dashed line in a certain direction. It might go up, left, down, right, sort of thing. It's kind of a curly thing, and you might have to then put another ingredient will give you an up, left, right turn, and it's like linking them all together will then, you have to try and find the right combination of the right herbs and stuff to mix together to get to the potion that you need to get. Early on, it's fairly straightforward. You can't go too far wrong. You're always going to be making the healing potion. There's a healing potion, a frost potion. There's a light potion. So you get someone who'll come into your shop and they'll say, I can't find Grandpa, he's lost somewhere. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre like that. Some of the dialogue is quite kind of comical in some ways. You're sort of like reading it and just sort of have a little chuckle to yourself. And then you'll have to try to find or unlock that potion by going around the map, like I said, by combining potions and creating an up left or an up right or down left or down right. Sometimes there's a spiral as well as part of the pathway that you need to get to. It's just a fun fun little game you can spend hours on. Like I said, I don't know how it looks as a viewer looking into a stream. But I think it definitely has replayability because there's so many crafting stuff that you need to look for. So yeah, you just gotta find effective ways to brew new potions. You got to save it to your recipe books, and next time you need it, it's there. Just one click away, you can go straight there and find it. You got to listen to your town folk, understand what their needs are from their stories. There's sometimes you'll get a someone who come in to try sell you stuff, like and you can say, well, I do need this ingredient because I can't. You do have, because also you have a garden, so you go to at the back of your house, you have a garden. In the basement there is a crafting system which then levels up all your crafting equipment, so you need to try and level that up as well as you go along, create much more bigger sort of potions. You need to just your enhanced garden where you grow mushrooms and stuff like that. If you can't grow them, but you might get a merchant come into your shop and you can buy those from him. There's a haggling system as well, so you have to, or you don't have to, but you can try to haggle. The game really progresses on when you actually haggle and get it on the nose. If you can actually haggle and get those prices down, then it becomes a little bit more easier later on. But the worse you do, the more unhappier everyone becomes. So you need to try and keep that balance of like making sure that the town folk are happy as well. If you don't have the potion that they want, they will have that sort of like sad face on them. It's like, oh no, miserable sadness, and walk out your shop. And then someone else will come along and say, I need a potion that starts a fire. So you can, whilst they're in the shop, you then go off on a little adventure to try and find. You think, it's taking me ages to do this, and they're still waiting. And sure enough, they'll still be there once you get back to the shop. I would have gone somewhere else. To be honest, I would have like given up. No, it doesn't got what I needed. It's just a fun game. It's just a little. It's probably it's very simple, basic mechanics. I like how it looks, like that sort of it's sepia, the sort of like the color scheme to it. It's very old ye old English type wording and stuff. It's very it's just like I say, it's very, very fun game. It can be fun, can be frustrating at times because you can't always get to that potion that you want, and it's the one potion that you need to unlock the next area. Unlocking areas, and again, it's all about going around the map. It's all about coming around, looking for the right pathway, as I said, by clicking on the ingredients, it'll tell you which pathway it would take you if you added that to the pestle and mortar and crushing it down before adding it. You get a chance to retrieve your pathway, your what are those bottles called? It's a little mixing bottle. I don't know. I can't remember what they call it. It's all science. It's a science. But yeah, that's what is illustrated on the map. It's you go around. You could call it, recall it, start again, so you don't lose points, and you don't. Once you've used the ingredients, if you've committed to that pathway, that's it. Those ingredients are gone. But you can retrieve your little bottle if you wish, if you get that pathway wrong. Yeah, I just had some good couple of hours on it, good few hours. Again, it's just one of those. It increase over time, and I feel like I'm just sort of filling now. Because there's not much else you can add to that. It is just a small little game. It's just a small, fun little game.
Nice little time
Keeps
thing.
you going. Yeah, it's a time waster. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All it is a little time waster. And I'm not sure how much it is exactly. I think it's about 17 pounds. I can't remember. But let's have a look. I think go to the store page. It is. Oh, it's £11.39. Sorry. Yeah, it came out. It came out 21st of September 2021. It's actually probably the one of the most recent games I've spoken about recently. Yeah, still in kind of early access. It is a single player crafting simulator, and yeah, it's just there you go. Potion craft alchemist simulator.
Well, Viagra potions are only sold for a gold.
Potions and alchemist simulator where you physically interact with your tools and ingredients to brew potions. You're in full control of the whole shop, which you kind of are. And there is a day and night cycle as well, so you have to sort of like go to bed by a certain point as well. Should mention that.
Sleepers for the week.
Yeah, sleep for the week.
I'm pretty weak. I sleep all the time.
It's bit of a time waster on that one. If you're interested in that, it is available on Steam. I'm not sure if it may have come out on other formats as well. If it's available available on Game Pass, and then absolutely download it, try it out.
It's not on Game Pass.
It's not on Game Pass. Well, it's Steam only, I think, maybe.
I think it might be on Switch as well. I think might all coming to Switch. It's one of those games that do well on the portable, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I could see this, that sort of element of the way it works. Just it's such a simple like mechanic. All you got to do, you still have to move the pestle and mortar around. You have to manipulate that using your mouse. To stir the pot, you use the mouse. So you're doing sort of like small little circles on your mouse mat, just to move it around. Yeah, it's just there you go. Try it out. If not, it's fine. That's my little spotlight for the week. It's a short one for me this week. Short. Sometimes those small ones are always best. At least that's what I'm convincing myself of. So. But yeah, there you go.
So so I've got a few things to talk about after that. Yeah. There's not so much. It's news, but it's also more opinion based as well. As we know, the Steam handheld came out this week.
Yes.
And Valve already said they've got another one in the works already.
Really?
They're working on another one. Yeah. Gabe Newell said it's the first of many new come. Need more power, so they're already saying about making it more powerful, improved battery, and the rest of it. It's just come out. Why would you launch a product and then say, "Oh, but we're gonna make something better"?
Yeah.
I mean, like it baffles belief. Why he would come out? So I can't. I don't have to. It was it's PC Gamer, I think, that reported it. I saw it.
Yes.
I'll try and get it up. But,
yeah. So I think I have it. Yes.
So he was just basically saying, we've launched the we've launched it. It's really good, blah blah blah. But we can improve it, make it better. Da 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 da. So it's just like a brand new product, and you're just already like saying it can be improved upon. A lot of people are saying that the battery life is crap. And like I said, it
Yes.
was. I said this when we talked about it a little while ago. I said the battery life would be an
Yeah.
issue.
I think we spoke about this
Yeah,
as
we
a
did. Yeah, we did a whole length spiel on it,
yeah.
but just not willing to go over old ground so much, but just to say, just to point out that I told you so. I told you so that it would be a problem for a lot of hardcore, because like I said, hardcore gamers are going to buy this in the droves, right? 'Cause they want to take my PC with me, so they're gonna have that. Yeah, they're gonna want it because they're addicted to their PC gaming and community, whatever. Fair play, we all have
It,
our quirks and stuff we like, but I do think that it is still too expensive. It's like
yeah,
£1,400
yeah. I mean,
for a handheld
it's
computer.
crazy. It's crazy at the
That is it
moment. The
is
pricing.
it's not even more powerful than the PS5. It's not that great in
It
terms of technical power.
no. It's a lot of what they're hoping to have already launched was I think Elden Rolls. Yeah, no, what?
Elden
Wait.
Rolls, yeah. Elden Rolls.
Elden
That's basic.
Rings.
It's
Yeah.
basically what it's called. Elden Rolls.
Elden Rolls, yeah, just got roll and dodge.
And then,
Elden Rings was something that they were boasting about as well. I think
yeah,
that would be compatible already. And most of your games on your Steam library should be easily accessible on this. That's what they're suggesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The thing is, the games that they want to run have to have a version for the Steam Deck to run it. It isn't just like, oh, it's a PC, it's like Windows, it's a Windows box, and it just run Windows software, because obviously they'd have to get a Windows license for that,
yeah,
increasing the cost even more. So Steam have said that whoever developer supports it has to make a Steam mobile, well, Steam Deck, whatever it's called, Steam handheld console version of the game in question. Only a handful of developers have done this. So they might boast your Steam library, it will be accessible. It's not. There's only going to be a handful of titles in your library that are going to be available to play on it, and that's if the developer has supported it. So what you got here is kind of like a Stadia situation where there's not a lot of software available out the gate for the Steam handheld, and that hurts it. The price point is a massive problem, and its hardware is not up to snuff for the price. You compare that to a desktop PC or a gaming laptop. It's a no-brainer. You're going to pick a gaming laptop or a desktop every time.
yeah,
There's no way people are going to. Like I said, it's for those that want to show off, for those that have loads of money, and it's for those that literally have to have all the gadgets and all the latest stuff, regardless of what it does, how good it is, whatever. That's the market they're going for. They're just basically going for the whales, aren't they, at that price point?
of course.
And it's going to sell at least 100,000 units plus, maybe more than that. And that's just money in the bank for them. And then they can use that to fund a more affordable version, if you like, further down the line. It will get cheaper, it will get smaller, and it will have worse performance. That's what she said. And it's a shame, really, because I think there's a huge gap in the market for a portable PC system. Something like the Switch that's able to run your PC games, even if you just had a Steam app and you log into your Steam app and play your Steam library through the app, and you only play games that require a controller on the app. So you don't have you don't have to worry about the mouse and mouse stuff like the RTS games and and you could technically use the Switch touchscreen. I'm giving them ideas here. Pay me some money. Anyway, but so I'm saying it could easily work, if they
Yeah,
just invested a bit of time in some software and like do the cloud-based gaming. What Xbox does has pioneered it. Xbox pioneered the cloud-based gaming stuff. The stuff on their cloud runs so smooth. It's ridiculous how good it is. It puts NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is quite good as well. But everything else doesn't come close. But Steam is missing the trick here. They could easily They could easily do that, but then they wouldn't be able to sell their 1,500 quid bloody handheld gaming
No,
PCs. So and they've also said they're not going to do a Game Pass. So they come out and said we're not doing a Game Pass. However, we would like to promote Microsoft Game Pass through Steam. So we'll happily have Microsoft on our promoting Game Pass for them, and they've already got EA Play on there, and Ubisoft their subscription rip off subscription. But Steam have no plans to do a Game Pass. And to be
no.
honest with you, how would they do that anyway? It'd be so expensive. There's like thousands, hundreds of thousands of games on Steam. How would you justify? It'd have to be like £100 a month or something for you
It
to
would
get
be a
access to
man.
like. It would be
Probably.
immensely amount of money you'd have to pay
Yeah.
to access that. It's amazing that Game Pass includes all the games it does for the price point it does. In all fairness, but Gabe Newell said, "But no, we're not doing a Game Pass. No, no, no." And then on that note, it's worth noting that Netflix has now started wading into the gaming. You might have read a little while ago they were doing gaming stuff. They're going to do gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Hence, they've now gone full blown into gaming shows. They got the Cuphead show that's just come out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And along
yeah.
with, if you have the app, you will notice that if you go into the app, you will have mobile games now to play on. There's a little section called mobile apps, and they're the worst games I've ever seen of all time. They're literally the crap. It's just absolute rubbish. But it's like we've got games now. Look at us.
They're just trying to follow on from what Amazon already do. Like if you've got Prime on your TV, you can go into game. I actually can say this for sure because my sister came around with my niece and nephew, and naturally my nephew went straight for the controller. So yeah, he knows exactly where to look on the TV. He's got his own profile and everything on nearly every streaming platform I have, so he knows where to go for. But yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, the game he was playing was actually a Pac-Man version. But like you said, it's. I think they're just taking that idea already and they're rolling with their own sort of stuff. Will they make anything from it? Probably not, because like there are some of the games that you do have to sort of like spend a couple of pound on. It's only a small amount, but it's a small amount that make a big difference eventually.
Yeah, exactly. But
the
one thing that Netflix have come out and said, and I read this in multiple posts, a bit in December and early January, is that they have already hired gaming companies and gaming developers to make games for their platform. So they're going to have exclusive games that are only playable through like PCs and consoles and only available within the subscription. And they're talking about having a additional cost for games on top of your £12.99, whatever it is you pay. So they're saying it's going to be a price point will be about £18 a month. And once they have their launch titles for their streaming service, and that's basically what it is. You pay for access and they stream the game to your device. You don't own the game. You don't get a copy. You don't get a digital copy. You literally, it's basically like Stadia, but better.
Yeah,
you're not paying 60 quid for a game you don't own, for a copy you don't own, on a platform you don't own, on a controller you don't own.
Yes.
So they're using pre-integrated software for the hardware that's already available, and that makes sense. So that's no additional cost to the consumer if you have a console or PC with a controller. So it's gonna make if they do it well and they bring some good games on there, then it could be quite a shake-up for the gaming industry to have something as cheap as that. I know Game Pass does it, and you could argue that Game Pass is already leading the way, and they are 100%. But one thing Xbox does not have is really good exclusives. Every exclusive we have played on the Game Pass has been crap. Look at not Left 4 Dead 3, Back for Blood.
Yeah.
How awful was that experience for us? We couldn't even get into the game. We couldn't even get.
Yeah. It was a bit of a struggle,
play it. Yeah, and then we got into the game, and the game was so ridiculously hard and broken. It was absolutely horrendous. And there's other exclusives. They had Skatebird. There's another one that literally my eyeballs were bleeding playing that game, and my ears were being destroyed by the worst game I've ever played in my life. I know I actually will do a tangent on that at some point in the future, but it's awful. And there's a couple other games that I'm not gonna derail this podcast too much by going into a massive tangent about crap games on Game Pass, because there is some really good stuff on there as well. But it's like Steam. There's a lot of crap on Steam. There's a lot of good stuff on Steam. Xbox Game Pass is the same. There's a lot of crap. There's a lot of good stuff. Same with PlayStation. PlayStation, it's all crap. Their PlayStation now is literally like 10 titles on there worth playing, and then they've got like about 300 PS3 titles that no one's gonna play ever again on there. And it's like they want 20 quid a month for that. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks.
But isn't that the case now? With Netflix doing this, there's so many like platforms out there. There's so many streaming where you just stream your games when you like Xbox Game Pass. So if I've got a PlayStation and I've got a PC and I've got Netflix and I've got Amazon, all those extra like monthly fees that I'm paying. And I like you said, I'm not owning any of that stuff. I'm just streaming it, and I pay. I think is it £8 a month for a Game Pass, unless I'm paying more than some people. I'm paying less. I'm not sure, but like you pay that a month. You pay for your PC subscriptions a monthly. Everything that you're paying a monthly, like you said, you're not owning any of that.
No.
In fact, if they decide to change their T's and C's, which we briefly covered on not so long ago, if they change their T's and C's, which they can at any time, there's nothing to say that they can't, you end up losing all of those games if you're not willing to go along with what they're asking you to.
Exactly, yeah.
So they can give you, but they can take back.
Steam is exactly the same, by the way.
Yeah. Of course it is. If you own,
we pay for the games on Steam, but we don't own the game. We don't own them. No, we don't own them
unless you buy a physical copy of a game. You do not own that game.
Exactly.
And I think that goes alongside any streaming service that's out there. Netflix, Prime, as a prime example. Hey.
Hey.
But yeah.
Prime that one.
There we go. But it is like you don't own anything. No. It's not exclusive for anybody. You don't own a thing.
You don't own jack shit.
You don't own nothing. We take your money and that's it. We don't own
and your house and your keys and your soul because you didn't read the fine print.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that last time, didn't I? So I've got a question for you, Steve.
Okay.
With the release of the next generation consoles, albeit they're not really. I would argue they're still not next generation because you're still playing in 4K. We could play in 4K for the last 5 years. I still don't think that's classed as, in my opinion, as next generation. It's just a newer version of the current generation, right? So I'd be inclined to say it is current gen, just plus. You know what I mean? There's a bit more, better frame rate, better hardware. The only thing they have going for them is the new engines they're building their games on. So, but they're still building it for the PS4 and Xbox One because they don't know. Not everybody has these new consoles. So my question to you is: I don't know if apologies if we've covered this already in the podcast, but I thought of this earlier today, and I thought it'd be quite good to talk about. Is the price increase on next generation titles value for money?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, what are they delivering? If they're delivering something that is gonna capture you for how many hours? I think I have mentioned this before as well. There's not many games that do 40+ hours. The ones that do it don't retain enough of the people that buy those sort of games straight away. Like people will go out. There are certain gamers, they're casual gamers that go out. They're not spending that much time in it. For instance, let's go with the what we said about the Horizon game. Saying us around £65 for PlayStation exclusive, just to own the copy of that and say, look, I've got this. If you've bought it as a physical copy as well, where you could easily later on trade it in for something else, which is for you to do after you've completed it. If you've put in 100 hours, you saying it's about 100 hours or so. Casual gamers won't play that long. They'll just do the campaign and then move on. So no, I think 60, 65, 70 pounds is not worth it. I don't think it is. And like you said, if you don't have a 4K TV and it has 4K like integrated within the game so that you could watch it, that's you're still only limited if you're a streamer as well. I think you're only limited. You're not gonna get. You're not always. You'll lose lose quality as well, didn't you? So it does drop down. So you don't actually gain anything from that. So I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that money is no.
Yeah, because I read an article about the Sony. It was Sony trying to defend their price increase, saying that the quality of the games is better and they require more man hours and more programming and more technical assistance and all this crap they were talking, right? And one of the Q&As at the bottom, one of them said, well, if it's the same game on the PS4, isn't the quality of control the same? Because it's the same game.
Yeah.
So how is it? How are you? And he didn't have an answer. It was just like, but yeah, PS5 is the latest generation. The reason it's very expensive is because of blah, blah, blah. But it's just absolute nonsense. It's a price hike because some idiot on Twitter suggested, and some big influencer suggested, oh, maybe we should pay more for the next generation titles. And then it went viral, and then the companies went, oh, then they read all the comments. All the people go, we don't mind paying £10 more. We don't mind paying £10 more for a quality game. But you're paying more for the game that's exactly the same in the other platform. Because they've already been making it for the PS4. Anything that's coming out now has been in development 3 or 4, 5, 6 years and has already been allocated on the previous hardware. So they've already got most of the stuff coming out. That's why all of it comes out on PS4 still, because they've already got the base the games made on the lower end consoles, right? And so they bring it. They go, well, look at this nice shiny new PS5 game. Oh, it's only £80, but we'll sell it on the PS4 for £40, and you get a free PS5 upgrade. So I don't understand why they're enforcing this price hike when they're enforcing it, but then they're like, oh, but buy the PS4 version and you get it for free. It makes no sense to me. Just have a default price, £50 for both copies, done. Why have you got to have it's just greed? It's greed, isn't it? It's corporate greed. It's just like, we can increase it because we want to, not because it's value, not because you're getting hundreds of hours on said game. It's because it's not technically the length of the game that I was talking querying. It was the technical standpoint from the improvement of the PS4 to the PS4 Pro versus the PS5 Pro. And obviously you can argue fidelity, loading times, because it's got an SSD hard drive. I mean, that's technical hardware. But from the technical game perspective, if it's on the PS4, it's identical to PS5. It's just upscaled a little bit. So the PS4 Pro will have, say, 2K by 2K resolution, 4K textures, and the PS5 will have 4x4K texture resolution. So there's not that much of a jump, technically, from Pro to PS5, which is why I don't understand. I can't get my head around this price hike. And it really is. I literally got myself into Tiswas earlier thinking about it, because I was like arguing with myself, like, why are these companies doing this? I just couldn't get my head around it. And then my missus goes, what's the matter here? Why are you fretting? And I was like, oh God, I think I explained to her what I was thinking about. And she goes, well, you can't control what companies do, can you? Just don't buy it. Just don't buy the increase. Just buy the cheaper version. If it's a cheaper version, I know I touched on this earlier with the Elden Ring thing.
Yeah.
But but that common logic, right? That don't buy it. The gamers of the world are like, fuck that. I'm gonna buy whatever I want. I don't care. I don't care about the price inflation. Give you money. Here we go. Buy more games. And they just don't seem to understand that they're fueling the problem. Yeah, I mean they're fueling it because now these companies have been making, and I will put this out: the deluxe editions can go and rot in a fire somewhere. The deluxe editions on the PS5 is outright a scam, right? I got a deluxe version of Elden Ring by pre-order. I didn't ask for a deluxe version. I got a deluxe version for pre-order. Do you know what my deluxe edition extras were? Bearing in mind this made the game £90 if I paid for it, right? It was a guidebook for the first 10 minutes of the game, and all that guidebook told me was the items in the game for the first 10 minutes that you get all the tooltips for in the game if you pay attention. And the next thing was a map and a couple of pictures, and then the soundtrack. That's an extra 30. What? What? That's an extra 30 quid. Are you having enough? And the Forbidden West is the same. The digital copy, the deluxe edition is exactly same.
It's crazy what companies do feel like they can start charging you if you wanted to buy. Like I think even with Lost Ark there was a like £60 package for just to give you that, you know, amount. Like it's aesthetics at the end of the day, but it looks nice, so you want it. And I get the appeal. I get that.
Yeah.
I've played many times, and I think we both have MMOs, RPGs. You know, we've played quite a lot, and it's like that. Just to own an aesthetic towards something doesn't give you any abilities, any extra abilities, but it's just nice and to have. To pay that much money just for something, it's just crazy. It just really is.
Yeah.
I just find it kind of madness. It's just madness.
Because you go back 10 years, right? Deluxe edition. They used to include some sort of physical. You had to get a physical copy straight away, and you get some sort of statue, art book, CD, some other sort of like key fob, some other stuff you'd get with it, stickers. You'd get a whole shebang. You get loads of stuff for like £90, £100, right? The collector's edition. Collector's edition worth having because you get a limited edition statue with it. Good example. Final Fantasy VII Remake had the deluxe edition. Okay, it was 170 quid, but you got a lot for that, and you got one of the most expensive detailed figures with it. Unfortunately, they sold out when I tried to buy one, and I haven't gone back to it since. But I'd love to have that. I'll shut up. Right, and so you got these expensive, you know, worth the money sort of thing, worth the value. You know, there's value in that. You know, you get a physical copy to keep. You get a collectible to keep. Now, deluxe or digital, you know, deluxe or ultimate edition, or so super duper yes own edition, you know, super expensive edition, super rip off edition, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, digital art book. It's worth nothing. You can't even open it and read it whenever you want. So you can only load it up on the console. You're not going to spend. You're not going to load. You're not going to get a game there, or you got the art book. You're not going to. If you only got a limited amount of time, you're going to play the game. You're not even going to look at the art book, right? Especially in a digital context, unless you can load it up on your phone or something like that. But anyway, the point is, it's kind of a lost cause.
Yeah.
Right, and then you got the soundtrack, which again downloads to your console. Are you going to listen to that when you've got Spotify, YouTube, other things you can listen to music on? Are you going to listen to that? No, you're not going to listen to that. You load it up on Spotify. That's just going to waste your time and your space on your hard drive. And then you got the pictures and the best one I love is you get these unlimited avatars. You know, you get a nice little shiny little picture about big as your thumb that you can see on the screen that you're not even going to look at. And it's like, that's £100, please. Somebody pass me a shotgun. Seriously,
I've seen some ludicrous things out there. I've seen some crazy, like, I mean, I get the action figure things. I get that. Yeah. That's kind of
rare, you know,
rare things.
Don't make them
it does. It kind of appeals to me, but I wouldn't necessarily buy it. But yeah, I kind of get it. Now I've seen game launches with like the new Halo, for instance, a one-to-one helmet. You know, it's like you could actually physically wear it. You feel like Master Chief. Great. And then what do you get? You get basically the bog standard game, but it just comes with a helmet. But it costs you like 200 quid or something. You know, it's crazy. Like I get it. It's limited edition things that you can. That's tangible. It's something you can hold. You can use it, maybe. but like books and stuff like that don't really do a lot for me. You know, I mean, outside of Audible and stuff like that, or buying a physical book, like that's because I've chosen to do so. But they're only like a couple of quid. But anyway, sort of going briefly off.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it is. It's
It's
just
a podcast.
owning something, like you said. You could easily just get that. You'd listen to, if you wanted to listen to the soundtrack. You just go to iTunes, or it's going to be available. Spotify,
or, some streaming service that'll have it. Yeah,
some streaming service. Yeah, it's just
somewhere. YouTube usually has it if you don't want to mind listening to ads, or if you pay for the premium and you don't have ads, so therefore you get access to everything that ever comes out anywhere. So it's just a gimmick, isn't it? It's just it tries to just lure you into a sense of owning something magical, when in reality it's there must be English, because it must create disappointment having all this just tat. Just you get loads of tat, but you get it for really expensive. Really, just gullible gamers only apply. It's just infuriating to me, because the value it diminishes the whole value of being a gamer and having the cool collectibles. And I love collectibles. I've got a whole. Unfortunately, I've had to put mine into storage, but I've got like hundreds of pounds worth of collectibles. And I love collecting gaming stuff, right? And if a physical copy comes out of a game that I want, and it isn't ridiculously overpriced, unfortunately these days, because like as we've already been talking about, because it's PS5, it's like 5 times more money. But it's annoying as a collector when you see these editions with a physical copy now, like 9 times the price they were 10 years ago.
Yeah,
you used to be able to get a physical copy, a figure, or something cool with the ultimate edition of the game for 90 quid all in. Now it's like 190 quid, 290 quid. Extortionate amount of money for this statue that's honestly not worth the cost that they're asking for. The price point, it doesn't cost that much to make. No way. And I refuse to believe that, unless it's something like integrated in diamonds or something. There's no gold encrusted bloody. There's no way it's worth that amount of money. And considering most of these
Shield edition,
exactly, but most of these versions will have a limited stock anyway, because they usually have a limited edition. So they only usually make about 10,000 copies of these with the statue and they sell out instantaneously. You can't even log on to the website to pre-order it; they're gone. All the whales have bought it all up, or the bots. That's the other problem we have these days with bots buying everything. And stuff with collectibles and stuff like that, rare items. And it's just annoying. As a gamer, as a collectible enthusiast, it's infuriating. Because recently I bought quite a lot of games for me. I've been buying way too many. But usually when it comes to big releases, I only buy like 4 or 5 a year. And I usually try and get the Ultimate Edition if they have a collectible with. But I've not been able to buy one for about 8 years because of the price hike. And now with the addition of the next generation bullshit, you can't buy. I can't afford to buy them anymore, which makes me sad. And it's just disappointing. It's disappointing that these companies isolate gamers such as myself and many others who can't afford that, the extra 100 quid on top. And I don't want to hear you can save. Not everyone can save all the time, and not everyone has the luxury of saving, real life and stuff. Look at those people that had saved, and then the storm cloud rocking up and destroyed the entire country. So I think everyone's in the same boat at the moment. There's no savings to be had anywhere. And it's annoying. I'm just sound like I sound proper British right now. I don't have to moan. I'm gonna shut up now because it's. I think I've said the piece on it, and there's not much more to say other than that. Really, they need to make these versions more value, a lot more value than just tacking on some. And the other thing I hate as well is in-game items, a skin. Or you get this in-game weapon that lasts you about 2 levels, and it's like, well, that was pointless. What was the point of having that? It's supposed to help you get ahead in the game. What, for 2 levels? Oh, brilliant. Oh, what's the point of that? You know, it's just looking at you, EA especially. I
Oh,
hate
that's
it.
the worst. Please don't go down that road.
EA is the worst for it, and Ubisoft are the
Yeah.
worst for it, and Rockstar and everyone else. That's I'll shut up.
I think there's
Right.
it's now sort of, I think it's become an even keel with a lot of these places, like a lot of these companies. It's not, we can point finger at one, we can point finger at quite a few. You know, I think one is more higher than the other, but I think that they're slowly falling into the same pit, sadly.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a shame they have to go down that road, but there you go. Indie games are the best. Go with your indie games.
Yeah, indie games is up and coming big time.
Yeah.
Right, that was a longer segment than I thought it'd be. But do we have any more news this week? I don't think we've got. There isn't much. There isn't an awful lot happening in terms of gaming news this
There
week.
isn't a lot. Because I was briefly looking before we started anyway,
Mm.
and yeah,
I
there's
couldn't
not
find
much
much.
to go. There's not much to actually mention this week. Like, in terms of news, nothing big sort of stands out. I can't really see. I think you'd already covered. Yeah, yeah, we already spoke about the Steam Pass, so that's kind of old now. We've gone through that. Yeah, no, I can't really find much.
But the only other in terms of gaming news, or actual game about games. There's a new Silent Hill ish
Oh,
game coming
yes,
out.
thank you. Yeah, yeah,
It's called Slitterhead, which is made
Slitterhead.
by the
Yes,
Silent Hill creator Kiichiro Toriyama.
I'm glad you said
Um,
that one because I was reading that.
and to be honest with you, the game looks incredible. Have you seen the trailer? Let me see if I can get the trailer up. It is gonna be immense. Um,
It does. It does look really good. I think we briefly mentioned it as a up and coming release.
yes, we did. Um, so I'm gonna put the trailer on full screen for you guys that are watching along now. Um, it's So basically, the creator broke off from Silent Hill and he formed his own gaming studio, and this game was a result of that studio. And for those that are Silent Hill fans or like this, it's akin to Toriyama. What's his name? Oh, the the guy from Metal Gear Solid. What's his name?
Oh,
Creator of Metal Gear Solid. Hideo Kojima. Is that?
Kojima, yeah.
Yeah. It's similar to his style of horror. Fuck me, that's terrifying. Um, I haven't seen this. I've not seen this one.
Okay, you've
Sorry.
not seen the game trailer. No, it's just because I know the game trailer is the same as what you're watching. But just to sort of describe it, there's a woman. She had a massive mouth of teeth, and then she turns into a really weird looking creature, which you could see her bone structure, but it's like a spider, isn't it? It's kind of scary.
That's
And
very
it's set
jump. I
in
wasn't
is it set
expecting it.
in Japan?
Yes, set in Japan. It's like it's like another outbreak sort of thing, sort of
Yeah,
zombie type thing.
it looks terrifying enough that I would want to play it. I mean, I
Yeah.
think
I'm hoping against hope it has co-op. I know it'd probably be an amazing single player experience.
it will.
But I really want co-op. I would love to get shit scared in a game world like this in co-op with someone. That's what I don't think Resident Evil 2 is co-op, is it? I think it's just single player, isn't it?
No, I don't think it was. There was never.
Oh, that's going to give me
But
nightmares. That
this,
was awful.
but they're actually comparing this more Watch Dogs 2 than Evil Within. But I don't know if that's correct. I mean, looking at what they're
That ain't going to be Watch Dogs. It might be use a lot of technology to get around the world.
Yeah, originally they described it as an open world thing. In terms of that,
yeah.
In terms of the open world.
Evil Within 2 was semi-open world. It was open world zones, and it worked quite well, especially when you get into derelict houses and defunct buildings. But creepy central.
That whole Silent Hill, the Evil Within. I mean, I have to touch upon those again because, like, They like I think the first Evil Within was actually, I thought, was really good. Second one was more. I think there's more open world. It's kind of weird how they went about it.
The second one's more open world, more open gameplay. It's more. It's not as scary because you lose the claustrophobic factor.
Yeah.
Because you're in open world. Plus, you're not in somebody's mind. Well, you are in someone's mind, but it's a different mindscape. It's a different mind. And it's a good touch. We should talk about those in the future podcast.
I'll definitely come back to that at some point.
The Evil Within is actually one of my favourite horror games.
And
the second one is also really good. I'm going to do a little shout out for those. They're super cheap. They're on Game Pass as well, but you can own the games for pence. They're like £2 or £3 on CD Keys, which is a website you can go and get some keys for and put into Steam. It's super cheap, and they're also super cheap on Steam. On PlayStation, they're on sale at the moment. Like £2, £2.99, something like that. Worth, if you're a horror fan and you like the Silent Hill genre, you will love Evil Within 1 and 2. Must own game for any horror fan. And that's my little shout out for the Evil Within.
Can I? Okay, if we're done with that one, there is something I just wanted to mention, because we mentioned, I spotlighted Portal last week on the last episode.
Okay.
And I noticed that in the news, Valve are going to release a new game. It's not Portal 3, but it is set in the same universe. Aperture Desk Job is a free short game, and because we've already covered it a little, it is designed for the Steam Deck. That teaches you to use the new device, releasing March 1st. So I just thought I'd mention that as well.
Oh, okay.
I thought it'd be kind of an interesting game.
Portal 2.5.
Yeah.
Valve don't do freeze.
Mouse keyboard is not supported. Yeah, but this is one of those exclusive. I think it's going to be their exclusive, which is a shame that they're going to do it that way, because I was looking forward to something like Portal. Like I said, I covered that last
try
time.
And get people to buy it, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, exactly. That's why
give us 1,500 quid for this one game. Okay.
I wouldn't. And 1,500 quid. It is.
So,
they are saying it's free.
It's been between 1,200 and 1,500, depending on where you buy it.
Depends on how many gigabytes of memory you want. And it's not even the memory size; it's the battery size.
It's not the size; it's how you use it.
Hey, that's to be in there. There you
go. There's a joke of the week. I filled it in for you.
Yeah, I liked the idea that there could have been another type of Portal game out there. I mean, I know that we're never going to go back to that Half-Life thing again. I don't see that happening any time. And a lot of people keep going, "Oh, we might get it."
There's a remake coming, isn't there?
There is a remake.
Half-Life 1. Built from the ground up, completely redone. It does look pretty good. It's going to come out on next generation. It's going to come out on the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X.
Yeah, for £70.
Yeah, for £100 for all you get with it. You get the game and you get a gun, level 1 gun.
Yeah,
and a picture of Gordon Freeman standing there with his finger like that on the screen.
Yeah, is this the 13 years development Half-Life mod? Is Marine Assault on Black Mesa launches a rave reviews. Okay, Half-Life Field and intensely is a new. This is this from the same people that the created by Russian and Ukrainian modding team? I mean, how?
That's a different thing.
Is that a different thing from what I was? Yeah,
that's a different thing. Yeah,
right.
That's your take on a Marine going into Black Mesa.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not Gordon Freeman. It's the Marines that went in there.
My mistake.
If you play Half-Life 1, you find loads of dead Marines everywhere, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
That is the story of a Marine going in with his team and what happens to him. It's just completely different stories, brand new story, built from the ground up to mod the game. And as I say, it's made by Russian and Ukrainian devs, and it's been 13 years in development, and it's had amazing reviews so far.
It has,
I might check it out at some point in the future.
It's kind of poignant that when they're not in a situation that they're in, that Russian and Ukrainians when they come together and actually can deliver good stuff.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to talk about any of that on the podcast because
No, no,
I
no.
wouldn't
I'm
end
not
up
going
going.
to either. I was just.
No, I do agree that it's funny how the situation
It was
is
just
what
funny
it
how
is.
that
Yeah,
news came
yeah,
about. That's all.
yeah.
It was
I
just
think it's more I think that's more prominent, relevant. That's why they put it on the front page. It's
probably.
because of that. Because of that very
I am
reason.
reading this out of sync. Out of yeah. So that's kind of my bad.
Right. I did have one more question for you.
Okay.
I don't know. We're going to be wrapping up soon, but I did have one more question for you, and I don't know. You don't have to answer it. All right. It's a kind of a nuanced question, and I did this in my Discord, but no one answered me, so I'll ask live. Right. What was the first video game character that you tried to romance or fell in love with?
Oh wow. Create a romance. I would say my earliest memories of trying to be romance would be Meryl from Metal
Metal
Gear
Gear
Solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
Did you try and catch her getting undressed in the
Yeah, yeah,
toilet?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I played it through. I played it through. I caught her in the run.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, there is two possibilities in which that can happen. Or was there one? There was one actual way of doing it, and then there was one where I think as Snake he sneaks in and he catches her. But
Yeah.
depending on how you played the game, yes, there you go. That is my answer.
Awesome. My first romanceable NPC, well, non-playable character, has to be Morrigan from Dragon Age Origins. I went out of my way to get the sexy, sexy time scenes in that game to the point where I looked up a guide so I could get her, and then I looked up a guide so then I could romance all of the girls at the same time and have the hidden scene where you got your character and three girls, two of the romanceable NPCs, and then there's another girl that actually is she becomes a romanceable character in Dragon Age 2. But that was my first proper like, oh, gonna see some titties, oh, when I was younger. So I was like in my youth, that was one of what I did. And the next one I did after that was Mass Effect and
Yeah.
Ashley
Right.
Williams.
Yeah.
So it's all about that ass in that cutscene, and then I went back and did it with the blue girl, what's her name, Tiara. I'm sounding like a bike perv now. Video game characters, right? I love games of romancing and romanceable NPCs. It's not about a journey. It's not about a destination. It's about how it ends.
I think Dragon Age was one of my first introductions of like finding out that you can actually have sexy times with NPCs. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is the thing. I think I replayed that mission. Like, oh, I forgot what I had to do. I'll go replay that mission again.
Yeah. The best thing about that game was it was heavily moddable. So you could mod it and you could have fully integrated scenes.
It was completely neutral neutral as well to any of the members. Yeah.
Liara, that's her name. Yeah, yeah. It's not Tiara, Liara. Sorry, Steve. But yeah, so I'm going to sidetrack again. I'm sorry, but one of my other favorite things to do, back in the day, was the mod games. If anything had any adult nuanced scenes, I would find mods to expand those scenes, right? Because I just thought it was funny to do. And honestly, I was probably a bit sad at the time. It was fun to do, and it was amazing to see a community literally build all of these scenes because I wasn't the only one who was infatuated with these video game characters. I mean, it has sometimes when you lose yourself in the universe and you have that escapism feeling where you had enough of work, you had enough of life, you had enough. I don't mean like you know what I mean. I don't mean like had enough, but you're just fed up. You want to escape from all the stress. And when these games came out, and they had these relationships you could build, and you'd spend at the time I was spending hundreds of hours playing through these games, trying to get all the collectibles, trying to find all the engines, trying to get all the all the females to like me back in the day. So this is before I was married, right. So it's got these NPCs, and I literally like would literally have pictures of them on my computer and stuff. Because I can't wait to get back in. I did get a bit sad with it. I did snap out of it, but because I got so enamored with because I had so much stress going on in my life at the time. I got so enamored with the world and the characters that I was literally that was all I would think about. I'd go to work, I'd do the job, do whatever shift it was. I'd go home, kiss my wife, say hello to the kids, get on that computer, and that was it. I'd never think about anything else until I went to bed. And then I spend the day at work bored out of my face thinking about I want to get back and play with Morrigan. I want to bed Morrigan when I get in. I wonder if I can load up this position or this position. And it just became stupid. Like, and I can understand where when you read these stories that these blokes and females, sorry, men and women, or any other type, go into this universe and they fall in love. They actually fall in love with the character, and then they get the body pillows, and blow up dolls, and robots, and all that sort of stuff.
It becomes
an obsession. Yeah. I mean, I was on the verge. of an obsession. I know this isn't a typical podcast topic, but I did get some assistance with that, and I snapped myself out of it. But it got to a point where I couldn't distinguish fact from fiction. I was so enamored with the world that's all I would see. It was quite bad. But however, I do understand why you get like that, because my stream has just disconnected.
Oh no! Distraction. No.
So I think you put the plug on me.
That was that. I think the stream was kind of telling you then. Oh no!
Sorry, please stand by. I'm having technical problems. Nothing like an interruption and the Twitch going.
Should I do that technical problem sort of bit of music in the background? The lift music, isn't it? It's like.
I've lost Steve as well. I've lost everything.
No, I'm still here, but
shit.
All right. Yeah. So I think Freedy has crashed a little bit. So I'm just gonna continue. I was just I think we've probably actually come to the end now. After that, not as long as we normally go for, but it's still fairly lengthy. We are one person down, so that makes a bit of a difference to how you get 3 people talking. That increases the obviously that increases the time and how long we are on for. So yeah, I think it's probably worth actually finishing up on this now. I think Freddie has just had some technical difficulties as we speak, and then he's leaving the call means that I've been split in 2 on my screen, but that doesn't matter because you don't need to see that because you're listening to the podcast. If you are but if you're interested in any of the podcasts, as we said at the start of the program, yeah, you can find them on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, also Audible as well, and anywhere else that you can hear us podcasts from that uses RSS feeds. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to get Freddie to come back in before we even finish. So I think it's probably just going to be me on this. But thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for watching this week. I think we're going to play some games after the podcast, but I am going to end the stream now. And if we do play anything, I will reset the stream. Just for the purposes of the podcast, I'm going to reset. But anyway, thank you very much for being here this week. Hopefully, you can join us again. And okay, so I've just got a message from, yeah, his internet had actually just died. So what I'm going to do is just end it here. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you'll join us again. Hopefully we're going to have Beth back in next week, and she will even give us a bit of a joke of the week. But yeah, so thanks very much for listening, and we'll hope to see you again soon. Until next time, bye. Bye for now. Bye bye.